What's up everyone, Big Dan here, and in this video, we're going to explore 69 secrets and useless facts you probably missed about Skyrim. Nice. Now I know a lot of you watching are OG Skyrim fans, but I guarantee there are at least a few things in this video you haven't seen before. So as you're watching, when you stumble upon something new to you, leave a comment below and let me know what it is. So without further ado, let's buckle up, grab some iced coffee, and dive into the content. Number 1. Kill Grelod before Aventus asks us to. The process for hiring the Dark Brotherhood is quite morbid and involved. For those wishing to place a hit on someone, they need to perform a dark magic ritual with nightshade and a human heart, among other things, before meeting with a contact from the shady guild of assassins. Our first contract in Skyrim involves eliminating the headmistress of Honor Hall Orphanage for a scorned orphan named Aventus Aretino. But what happens if the Dragonborn takes care of Grelod the Kind before meeting Aventus Aretino? In this case, when you discover the child performing the Black Sacrament in Windhelm, you'll get this unique dialogue.
You did? Really? This is the best news I've ever gotten. I mean, I knew the Dark Brotherhood was good, just not that good. You killed the old hag before I even asked. Oh, and please, take this as payment. It's an old family heirloom, supposed to be pretty valuable.
You want a job done right, you gotta hire the best. And you gotta hire the Dragonborn. If the Dragonborn wants to snuff out Grelod the Kind while keeping his own hands clean, there is a unique way to achieve this with a bit of illusion magic. If you cast a fear spell on Grelod and cause her to flee into the streets of Riften, then she will inevitably get killed by a local homeless woman named Edda.
I hope there aren't any more. Please, I need but a septum. A septum is all I ask. Is that so bad?
It's not entirely clear why Edda has a kill-on-sight policy when it comes to Grelod. But in any case, whenever Grelod leaves the orphanage, Edda will immediately attack her. Grelod has made a lot of enemies over the years for her harsh treatment of children at the orphanage, which is the original reason why Aventus put a hit out on her. So many fans have speculated that perhaps Edda was a former resident of the orphanage who built up the same murderous rage that we saw from Aventus. There are a lot of unique conversations hidden in Skyrim that only become available if you make certain decisions. One of these can be discovered during the course of the Dark Brotherhood questline if you peek at a letter that wasn't meant for your eyes. When you meet with Amand Motier to learn about his grand plans, he will present the Dragonborn with a council amulet and a sealed letter for Astrid. But what happens if the Dragonborn has a look at the letter before handing it over to the Dark Brotherhood leader? In this case, Astrid will call our ass out after giving us the contract for Vittoria Vici.
But by Sithis, I hope I'm making the right choice here. You may be an effective killer, but your command of guile leaves much to be desired. The sealed letter you delivered to me was mysteriously unsealed upon its arrival. I can only assume you've read its contents. Sloppy. But moving on to business. As you probably already know from reading the letter, you're going to a wedding.
NPCs will make a variety of comments as you pass them on the streets. Anything from current events, your skill levels, or your lack of clout in the Cloud District.
Do you get to the Cloud District very often? Oh, what am I saying? Of course you don't.
One of the funniest ways to elicit interesting remarks from the citizens of Skyrim is to walk around the streets with no armor or clothing. Check this out.
Even rags would be preferable to your current wardrobe, or lack thereof.
Careful. They might put you away if you don't at least put on some pants.
Put on some clothes, you damn fool.
Hey, the way you walk around at home is your own business. When you're at home.
Naked! Naked, naked, naked!
What happens if the Stormcloaks attack Solitude during the wedding of Vittoria Vici? If you side with the Stormcloaks and reach the point in the Civil War where Ulfric's boys are about to take over Solitude, while the Dark Brotherhood quest Bound Until Death is currently active, then Galmar will show surprising restraint when you report to him.
We're ready to launch our attack on Solitude, but the Emperor's cousin is getting married. We can't risk attacking now, so we'll bide our time.
I know that the devs just made this scenario as an easy way to avoid game-breaking conflicts between two quests, but it is amusing that the Stormcloaks would be willing to break down the gates of Solitude and stick it to the Empire, but only after Vittoria's wedding is complete. We may be the true sons and daughters of Skyrim, but we ain't no wedding crashers, bro. Hilariously, Galmar and the Stormcloaks will also stay their hand during the Emperor's visit to Solitude in the Dark Brotherhood questline.
We are ready to launch our attack on Solitude, but the Emperor's visiting. We can't risk attacking now, so we'll bide our time.
Now, to be fair, maybe Ulfric wouldn't want to be held responsible for killing the Emperor, as taking out the Emperor may lead the Empire to send more troops into Skyrim to quell his rebellion, whereas just killing General Tullius and taking over Solitude would cause the Empire to cut their losses and let Skyrim have their independence. In any case, it's pretty funny to see where the Stormcloaks will draw the line in their war efforts. What happens if you switch sides during Skyrim's civil war? The Dragonborn has the option to join either the Imperial Legion or Ulfric's Stormcloak rebels. Regardless of which side you land on, one of your first big missions in the Civil War is to retrieve the Jagged crown from a Nordic ruins site. If you're on Team Stormcloak, once you have the crown, Galmar will direct you to bring it to Ulfric. However, if you bring the crown to General Tullius instead, you can betray the Stormcloaks and switch sides in the war during this unique conversation.
You? What? How could you possibly? Oh, so you're trying to play both sides, is that it? What do you really want? Well, you did show remarkable initiative, and you didn't have to bring the crown to me. But let me warn you, joining the Legion is for life. Any previous loyalties? I trust we understand each other. You can prove your new allegiance to me by delivering an important message to the Jarl of Whiterun.
This process also works in reverse as well. If you retrieve the Jagged crown on behalf of the Legion, you'll have the option to bring it to Ulfric instead of General Tullius. Here's how he reacts to your betrayal of the Empire.
Normally I would have welcomed someone like you. Resourceful, clearly no friend of the Empire. But I've had some disturbing reports of you. Seen talking to General Tullius in Castle Dower, for example. So what do you have to say for yourself? How can I be sure you're not an Imperial spy? So you as good as admit you're working for the Imperials. Yet you walk in here and ask to join me. What are you playing at? You're not short of guts, are you? What's your game? Why would Tullius waste resources getting the crown only to give it to me? Poison, perhaps. No, he's not that cunning. All right, I believe you. You aren't the first to turn away from the Empire in disgust. But remember, you're one of us now, forever. Whatever Imperial loyalties you may have had, that's all in the past. Forgotten. Now, to prove yourself to me, I have a task for you. Take my axe and deliver it to the Jarl of Whiterun.
Your first visit to Dragon's Reach in Whiterun will typically involve reporting on the dragon attack at Helgen. However, if you happen to take a side in Skyrim's Civil War before speaking to Jarl Balgruuf for the first time, then you can get some unique dialogue. Here's what happens if you bring news from General Tullius.
Well, I trust you have something vitally important to tell me. Important enough to interrupt me in the middle of council? Oh, yes? I wonder what that old busybody wants now. Whatever it is, it will have to wait until after I finish dealing with this dragon situation.
And here's how Balgruuf reacts if you show up with an axe from Ulfric.
Well, I trust you have something vitally important to tell me. Important enough to interrupt me in the middle of council? And I'm sure he told you it was urgent. Well, he's not the only Jarl in Skyrim with problems to deal with. Whatever it is, it will have to wait until after I finish dealing with this dragon situation.
Skyrim has some pretty insane cut content that never made it into the game. One of the wildest pieces of cut content comes from Mephalla's Daedric quest, The Whispering Door. By examining leftover unused game files, it becomes clear that Bethesda originally intended for Jarl Balgruuf to die during this quest. Before we dive into that, let's just quickly recap how the Whispering Door plays out. After receiving a rumor about the Jarl's children and speaking with Balgruuf, the Dragonborn will confront the Jarl's son Nelkir, who tells us this.
So, the disgusting pig sent you to bother me. One day, I'll tear his face apart so he can leave me alone.
After finding the door in the basement, speaking with Mephala, and getting the key, we receive the Ebony Blade as a quest reward. But other unused scripts in the game files show that all of Balgruuf's children would fall under the sway of Mephalla's whispers from the basement of Dragon's Reach, not just Nelkir. One script titled Frothar Kills Horse Scene shows that Frothar was meant to kill a black horse at the stables named Corinda. And another script named Frothar Listens to Ebony Bee shows that Frothar was also meant to fall under the spell of Mephala just as Nelkir had. But the Smoking Gun is a script ominously named Children Kill the Jarl Scene, which would direct Balgruuf's kids to gather at an undefined waypoint and murder their own father for the glory of Mephala. An accompanied script titled Balgruuf Wait to Die in Scene would remove the Jarl's essential NPC status, presumably allowing his children to take him out as part of the quest. According to the Elder Scrolls Wiki, upon Balgruuf's death, Hroggar was meant to replace Balgruuf as Jarl of Whiterun.
Hroggar became the Jarl when his brother Balgruuf, who had the job before him, was murdered.
Hroggar has a lot of unused dialogue parallel to that of Balgruuf, meant to be used in the Civil War quests and main story. While the overall content of this dialogue is similar to Balgruuf, his tone is much more aggressive in addressing the problems at hand. As a fan of Jarl Balin, I would never want to eliminate the homie, but I am kinda sad that this outcome was cut from the game, as the final version of the Whispering Door is much less interesting.
Excellent work.
There's a nip in the air. Cold won't be good for my crops.
But Jarl Balgruuf was not the only character who was originally meant to fall victim to the whims of a Daedric prince. A cut quest called Boethiah's Bidding would have seen the Dragonborn assassinate Jarl Elisif of Solitude. Immediately after claiming the Ebony Mail by taking out Boethiah's former champion, the Daedric Prince of Deceit would address the Dragonborn with this dialogue.
You have earned the right to call yourself my champion. And now you must perform the task for which I created you. You have already proven to possess the needed skills. Go to Solitude, stalk the Jarl, and slay her. I have spread rumors of an assassin. It will make your job harder, but will allow me to place blame where I desire it. You will need stealth and lies to get past her guards. You will assassinate her swiftly and quietly. And if combat finds you, survive the escape. Succeed, and you may keep your title and my armor. And I shall write your name upon the tablet of absolute blackness. Failure is not an option.
At this point, the Dragonborn would go to the Blue Palace to find Jarl Elisif had locked herself in her chambers in fear of an assassin.
She's telling everyone she's sick, but she's really locked herself in her room because she fears an assassin is out to get her.
Let's go talk with her. Stay close. Talk of assassins has the guards jumpy. They might attack you if you're not standing near me.
You would then have the option to sneak back to her or convince her steward Falk Firebeard to take you to Elisif. After arriving, the Jarl would say this.
I'm glad they finally believed me. About the assassin, I mean. It's been so hard since my Torek passed. No one takes me seriously. So how's this work exactly? Do you just kind of stand there on the lookout? That's what Bolgar does. Well, he sort of looms more than stands. Bolgar's loyal, but even he doesn't do what I ask. Case in point, this whole assassin thing. Well, at least I have you now. Look at me ramble. Well, I guess I'll go about my business sulking in here. You can stand over there in the corner watching for assassins.
At this point, the Dragonborn would have the perfect opportunity to eliminate Elisif on behalf of Boethiah, who would be pleased with the outcome, stating,
"You have done well, my champion. You have earned my respect. A feat few manage and live to tell about it. Now go. I have strings to pull that require my full attention. You may pursue your own course wherever it leads you. Remember always this. You need answer to no authority, neither mortal nor divine. As you will it, so it shall be."
After Elisif's death, Erekr would take over as Jarl of Solitude, and post-quest dialogue suggests that he may have had a hand in the assassination plot. According to the Elder Scrolls Wiki, the script notes for each piece of Erekr's dialogue indicate that he is feigning sadness and cracking a smile over the death of Elisif.
Quite fine, my friend. Quite fine. So sad what happened to young Elisif. Tragic, really. Such a young and pretty girl. Was in over her head, I'm afraid. But we should be done with murders in the Blue Palace. I've stepped up security around here.
But alas, just like Jarl Balgruuf, Bethesda spared Jarl Elisif a cruel death at the hands of a Daedric prince, as this quest was ultimately cut from the game. Speaking of Jarl Balgruuf, during the quest Diplomatic Immunity, the Dragonborn will have to convince an NPC to create a distraction to allow him and Malborn to slip into the restricted area of the Thalmor Embassy. And one of the rarest distraction opportunities comes from Jarl Balgruuf. If you sided with the Imperial Legion and defeated Ulfric in Skyrim's Civil War, then you can convince Balgruuf to do a solid for you in the Thalmor Embassy, leading to this hilarious encounter.
Let's hear it.
Free of judgment and expectation, you might learn much in this chamber.
Say no more. I was wondering what you were doing here. I'm glad to play my part. It's all for a good cause, old chap. Ulfric Stormcloak? The rightful High King? That's bordering on treason, man! Stand up! Stand up, I say!
I don't understand. Did you say Ulfric?
You take it back then?
Fine, Phil.
You retract your statement?
I mean, no,
well,
of course I condemn him in the most...
Razlan, and you promise to behave yourself this time. Remove him. He's disturbing the other guests.
I protest! This is an insult to the dignity of my person! This time I'm completely innocent!
Tell your men to stand down. I don't need any help dealing with this kind of fool. He isn't worth the trouble. I apologize for the disruption to such a festive occasion.
That is absolutely untrue! That is... Yes, of course. What? I don't understand why everyone... Never mind.
During the Dawnguard DLC, when you meet Serana for the first time, you can have some unique dialogue with her if your character is already a vampire.
I was expecting someone from my family. I don't recognize you. Are you one of my father's little acolytes? He's a very powerful man. Or he was at one point. I'm surprised another vampire hasn't heard of him. You think I can't tell my own kind? I smelled you almost before my eyes were open. Don't think that'll keep them from turning on you eventually. They'll figure out what you are.
After rescuing Serana from her crypt, she'll ask you to bring her to her father at Castle Volkihar. But what happens if you take her to Isran at Fort Dawnguard instead? In this case, Serana will hang around outside the fort, refusing to go inside the stronghold of vampire hunters, and I mean, who could blame her? While Serana hangs out at the entrance, we can proceed inside the fort and have this unique conversation with Isran.
Where is this woman? Who is she? Home. Where's that? Well, I don't know what that means, but we need to find out. She must either have something the vampires want, or be someone important to them. I won't lie. If this were any other situation, I'd put her down just on the chance she might be a vampire. But this is something different. I'd say do what she wants. Take her home, and see who else is in this castle.
At this point, you'll still take Serana to the castle, and the DLC main quest proceeds as normal. If you side with the Dawn Guard and wipe out the vampires, you'll open up a unique choice to have Serana cured of vampirism. After defeating Harkon and putting an end to the Volkihar vampires, you will have this new dialogue option. Let's explore each outcome to the conversation.
Do you need something? No. Why? So you take a major decision for me and make it all about you? Forget it. I'm not talking about this with you anymore.
If you botch this conversation, Serana will never want to broach the subject again, and she'll remain a vampire forever. However, if you choose the right dialogue options, then this will happen.
Do you need something? No. Why? Even before that, we weren't the most normal family. We did worship a Daedra, remember? I'll speak to Thalion. I've heard he knows about these things. I'm going to go away for a while. I'll meet you back home when I'm done. I know you do, but this is something I need to do alone. I'll see you again. Soon. No. Why? It would be nice to not always be so thirsty. I'll speak to Thalion. I've heard he knows about these things. I'm going to go away for a while. I'll meet you back home when I'm done. I'll see you soon.
At this point, she'll leave your party, and you'll have to wait a few days for her to visit Phalion in Morthal. I don't know if her character model actually ever travels there to get the cure, as she just kinda hung around Fort Dawnguard in my playthrough. But after coming back after a few days, you'll notice a change in Serana and have this conversation.
There you are. I'm back. All clean. I feel like I can breathe again for the first time since I was turned. The world is alive. And so am I, for once.
After getting cured, Serana will no longer have glowing red eyes and appear just like any other non-vampire character. However, there is a bug associated with this choice, as sometimes Serana's eyes will turn a sickly color of orange after her human transformation. But there are mods you can download to correct this minor issue. There's really no benefit of doing this other than the RP, as you'll lose the ability for Serana to turn you into a vampire lord, but it is an option that exists nonetheless.
The people here work so hard, and they never allow themselves a moment of fun. It's such a pity. It won't last forever, though.
During the mission Laid to Rest, the Dragonborn uncovers a sinister vampire plot to take over the town of Morthal. One of the main perpetrators is a woman named Alva, who is a vampire in disguise. Before her true identity is unmasked, Alva will have some interesting comments depending on the Dragonborn's background. If you're playing as a male character, she'll say this.
Well, aren't you the handsome one? You and I should spend some time together.
Alva will react to female Dragonborns with this dialogue.
Well, aren't you the pretty one? I bet all the men chase after you.
And most interestingly, this is what Alva will say if your character is a vampire.
I know you for what you are. This town's blood is ours. Leave it. Now we must return to our roles, lest the sheep suspect the wolves.
Typically, you will end up killing Alva as well as her thrall lover Hroggar during the course of the quest. However, it is possible to spare them, which opens up some unique dialogue. If you snatch Alva's diary without getting detected, or use a calm spell to end hostilities, then you can actually complete the quest without killing either of these characters. In this case, Hroggar will have some unique dialogue expressing gratitude to the Dragonborn.
Thank you for saving me from Alva. I was completely under her evil spell. I'll never forgive myself for what happened to Helgi and my wife.
In Alva's case, she will remain inside Movarth's lair and will not be hostile to the Dragonborn, but she won't have much to say to us either.
Need something? Is there something I can do for you?
During the Dawnguard DLC, while exploring the Soul Cairn in search of Valyrica's Elder Scroll, you'll have a boss fight with an undead dragon named Durnheviir. After the dragon is defeated, he'll address your character as Kunarin, recognizing your unique dragon capabilities. However, what happens if your own character has not discovered they are dragonborn at this point? In this case, you'll have some unique dialogue with Durnheviir.
In my language, the Kunarin is the vanquisher, the one who has bested a fellow Dova in battle. Forgive me. My instinct was to grant you this title. I am uncertain why. Perhaps one day it will become clear to both of us.
What happens if you retrieve the Elder Scroll before you even know you need it for anything? If you approach Septimus Cygnus's outpost north of Winterhold, you'll have this unique dialogue with the Mad Imperial.
Ah, the ice entombs the heart. The bane of Kagranak and Degolthur. To harness it is to know the fundaments. The Dwemer lockbox hides it from me. The Elder Scroll gives insight deeper than the deep ones, though, to bring about the opening. I have seen enough to know their fabric, the warp of air, the weft of time. But no, it is not in my possession.
At this point, you can retrieve the Elder Scroll by trudging through the Dwarven ruins and the depths of Blackreach, effectively bypassing your journey to the College of Winterhold. But sadly, Paarthurnax doesn't have any unique dialogue if you bring him the Elder Scroll before he asks you to. During our first visit to High Hroggar, the Graybeards will teach us new words of power for the shout's Unrelenting Force and Whirlwind Sprint. But what happens if you learn the Whirlwind Sprint shout before visiting the Graybeards in High Hroggar? There are two other locations where we can learn Whirlwind Sprint, Dead Man's Respite and Volkihar. And if you do, Arngeir will have this unique dialogue.
I see that you have already begun to learn the Whirlwind Sprint shout. Master Bore will teach you Kest, Tempest, the third word of Whirlwind Sprint.
During the quest Heart of Dibella, the Dragonborn will have to collect the future Sybil, named Fiotra, and bring her to the temple in Markarth. The only problem is that the young girl has been kidnapped by the Forsworn, as we'll learn from her father Enman. After rescuing Fiotra, we get a quest marker to bring her straight to the temple. However, if we take her back to her father instead, we'll get this unique dialogue.
Fiotra.
Father.
Fiotra, dear. Did they hurt you?
Of course not. My spirit remains strong.
My little girl, always strong. And do you know where you have to go?
I'm to go to the temple in Markarth. I'll have to leave you and Mother.
It's our honor to have you there. This woman is going to take you to Markarth. Are you ready?
Of course. Please, let's hurry to the temple before the Forsworn find me again. I hope we reach Markarth soon. I can't wait to learn from the priestesses.
The Temple of Dibella only admits female members into the Inner Sanctum, as we'll learn from Hamel upon our first visit.
Unfortunately for you, we don't allow men into the Inner Sanctum. You have committed a breach and must pay the penalty. Normally, a quick death. Luckily for you, there are more pressing matters.
But what happens if we visit the temple as a female Dragonborn? In this case, we'll get some unique dialogue with Hamel.
Unfortunately for you, we don't allow the uninitiated into the Inner Sanctum. You have committed a breach and must pay the penalty. Normally, a period of servitude. Luckily for you, there are more pressing matters.
The end result is still the same, as they are at capacity, but hey, it's at least nice to get a bit of flavor dialogue, I guess. There are a number of different dialogue lines we can hear from NPCs if we're playing as a female character.
It's not easy being a woman in Skyrim, I know. But stay strong, and men will come to respect you, and maybe even fear you.
You could make for a decent shield sister. An outsider, eh? Never heard of the Companions? An order of warriors.
Never done an honest day's work in your life for all that coin you're carrying.
Alas.
NPCs won't just comment on the Dragonborn's gender, but their racial background as well. And one of the most interesting cases is the character Rolff Stonefist, who we will see harassing a Dark Elf on our first visit to Windhelm. So what happens if you approach Rolff as a Dark Elf character? Here's what he says.
Every night, I walk around the Grey Quarter and let them Greyskins know what I think of them. The damn Greyskin. Go back to Morrowind.
Hilariously, you'll also get some unique dialogue if you try to fight him but don't have enough money to bet on the brawl.
100 septums say I can punch you back where you came from. I said 100 gold. Damn broke elves and damn broke elf lovers.
By the way, Rolff wasn't lying about walking around the Grey Quarter, shouting at the Dark Elves. If you follow him, you'll see him ranting in the streets.
You like living in this filthy slum, Dark Elves? Maybe you should go back to Morrowind where you belong! We don't want your kind here, Dark Elves.
Fantasy racism at its finest. J'zargo is the beloved Khajiit mage who we meet at the College of Winterhold. When we first approach J'zargo, he'll ask if we've mastered the top-level destruction spells.
You are new, yes? Have you mastered the expert-level destruction spells yet? Is it? This is disappointing. J'zargo hoped there might be one who could keep pace with his accomplishments.
Emotional, damn it! Interestingly, if you happen to have a really high skill in destruction when meeting J'zargo, you'll have this unique dialogue option.
Have you mastered the expert-level destruction spells yet? You have, already. Well, J'zargo is surprised. And pleased. There is a real competition here. This is good.
Now that we've covered about 25 secrets, if you're enjoying this video, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe to Big Dan Gaming if you haven't already done so. Appreciate the support, bros. J'zargo will go on to ask for our help in testing out his new Flamecloak scrolls. But what happens if you fail the objective by using up or throwing away all the scrolls before using them on the undead? Let's find out. Wake up, bitch. I need more scrolls.
You what? But how could you run out? J'zargo gave you more than enough. Just forget J'zargo ever asked for your help.
In this case, we'll make homie Big mad and permanently lose out on the chance to have him as a follower. If you jump off the plank at Bard's Leap Summit and survive the drop into the water, then you'll be greeted by a ghost named Azadal. The Red Guard failed to survive the leap himself after performing the entire Poetic Edda. After listening to him speak, you'll get a boost of 1 point to your speech skill. While most of the residents of Helgen perished during Alduin's attack at the beginning of the game, there are a few characters who survive that we can meet elsewhere in Skyrim. Haeming is a young Nord boy who we can spot at 2 points during the opening of the game, first while we're arriving on cart, and second when we witness his parents die right in front of us when we first link up with Hadvar. After we escape Helgen, Haeming will be found living with his grandfather Froki in a shack south of Ivarstead.
It ain't so bad. I miss living with my parents back in Helgen, though. Froki can't cook, and there's nobody to talk to up here. Yeah, but don't say anything about it to Froki. I don't think he understands.
The Redwater Den is a location that features during the Vampires side of the Dawnguard DLC, but we can visit it anytime even if we haven't started the expansion's campaign. Inside, we can stumble upon an Imperial Legion deserter who claims to recognize us from Helgen.
What? Who? You're that one from Helgen. Barely made it out of there myself. I hurt my back and I just need something for the pain.
Basically, every other named resident of Helgen who was present during Alduin's attack is either confirmed dead or status unknown, though other prominent figures such as Elenwyn, General Tullius, and Ulfric Stormcloak obviously survived, but they weren't from Helgen, so I'm not counting them. During the quest Lost to the Ages, the Dragonborn will pick up the torch and overtake Katria's work to restore the Dwarven Ethereum Forge. When first entering the Dwarven ruins, we'll encounter Katria's ghost, who will direct us to a journal located on her lifeless body. But if we also loot all her armor from her corpse, we'll get this unique dialogue.
Really? You had to take the armor? Come on, leave me with a little dignity.
Our initiation into the Thieves Guild involves framing a dark elf vendor named Brand-shei, who subsequently gets put into prison. But did you know there is a way to join the Thieves Guild without putting this innocent man behind bars? To do this, we'll proceed with Brynjolf's scheme as normal, but instead of planting the ring on Brand-shei, we'll drop it on the ground instead. And this dude immediately pounced on the opportunity.
If you're not going to use that armor you dropped, do you mind if I take it? I'm going to get it right now and wear it. Many thanks.
Bro, I thought you were rich. You're just a cosplaying brokey. At this point, all the NPCs will be stuck in the market, but when we approach Brynjolf, we'll get some new dialogue about losing the ring.
Lost it. Well, at least you showed signs of initiative by telling me. I guess I shouldn't be surprised with the way things are going around here.
Even though we failed, he's desperate enough to let us into the Thieves Guild anyway, so at this point we can proceed into the Ratway and join the guild, and Brand-shei gets to remain a free man. We can also get this outcome if we're caught stealing by a guard during Brynjolf's distraction.
I guess I expected too much from you. I didn't think you'd get pinched. Can't say I'm surprised with the way things have been going around here.
After completing the main quest, Diplomatic Immunity, we'll be directed to find the Blade Esbern down in Riften's Ratways. To get there, we'll need to go through Brynjolf, which usually means completing his initiation into the Thieves Guild. But if our speech skill is high enough, we can persuade Brynjolf to part with the info without joining his little broke-ass guild.
Expecting free information, eh? Help me deal with business first, then we'll see how I can help you. Besides, you look like your pockets are a little light on coin. Am I right? Aye, you've got a point there. Your guy's hiding out in the Ratway Warrens and paying us good coin for nobody to know about it. Well, until now that is. Tell you what, go ahead and deal with your business for now. When you're done, find me and we'll deal with mine.
If you want to piss off Delphine, here's a great way to do it. While rescuing Esbern from the Thalmor, if you abandon him in the sewers and return to Delphine without him, you'll have this unique dialogue.
Really? He's safe? Where is he? What? You left him on his own? With the Thalmor after him? Go make sure he's safe and bring him here.
Relax, bitch. He's an essential NPC. I'm sure he'll be fine. We can also get some unique dialogue with Delphine if we visited Kynesgrove before going there with her during the main quest.
Kynesgrove. There's an ancient dragon burial near there. If we can get there before it happens, maybe we'll learn how to stop it. Good. Good. Now we won't have to spend time searching for it. We should get moving. There's no time to waste.
Fultheim is a cranky Nord bro that we can find chilling at the Nightgate Inn.
You see any other inns around here? Where else would I go to drink? Sure, walk away. I wasn't talking or anything.
But depending on your outfit, Fultheim may react with more than just harsh words. If you happen to approach him while wearing a full set of Thalmor robes, Fultheim may turn hostile against you. After taking him out and checking his inventory, we'll find a blade sword, suggesting a possible motive for his seemingly random attack on the Dragonborn. The Blades as an organization were all but wiped out by the Thalmor, so given his apparent connection to the Blades, it's unsurprising that he reacts this way when he sees our black and gold drip. Sapphire is a standoffish member of the Thieves Guild, who we can first encounter berating a Red Guard man named Shadra about an outstanding debt on the streets of Riften. This kicks off a short side quest called Stabilized. If you wait to complete this quest until after becoming the head of the Thieves Guild, then you can leverage your position to get Sapphire to drop the debt during this unique conversation.
Yeah, what's your problem? Oh, you heard about that, huh? Sorry, boss. I was going to speak to Delvin about cutting the guild in, but I forgot. You aren't angry about it, right? I got the message. Consider it forgotten, boss.
Another interesting detail about Sapphire is that her real father is Glover Mallory, aka Delvin Mallory's brother, though she is unaware of this fact. However, we can show her the truth by completing a side quest for Glover during the Dragonborn DLC. After recovering the bone mold formula for Glover, he will give us a key to a thieves' cache in his basement. The room contains the unique Blackguard's armor, among some other valuable loot. But there is also an unsent letter that Glover wrote to Sapphire, the daughter he walked out on when she was only a child. If we bring this letter to Sapphire, we'll have this unique dialogue.
I can't believe it. All those years on the farm, and my mother never told me about any of this. Words can't even begin to describe how much I appreciate you bringing this to me. Here, take this. I used to carry it for good luck, but I think you deserve it more than I do.
As thanks, she'll provide you with a one-of-a-kind gem called the Exquisite Sapphire. Sadly, she still won't tell us her real name, though.
Look, I don't really know you. I don't even really know anyone here. Why do you care anyway? It's not like we're family. This is a business. Maybe one day. Just not today.
While exploring the open world, we may stumble upon a random thief who will attempt to rob us. However, if we happen to be wearing the set of Nightingale armor we received during the Thieves Guild questline, then we'll get this unique encounter with the random thief.
Hail, Nightingale. Luck has shined down on me and made me a rich man. Here is your cut, as promised. Good luck out there.
Ysolda is an up-and-coming merchant who desires to own more than a simple street stall.
Once I've made enough money trading with the Khajiit caravans, I'm going to buy the Bannered Mare from Hulda.
But currently, the Bannered Mare Tavern is owned by a woman named Hulda. If you speak to Hulda, she'll mention that she is considering selling the tavern to Ysolda.
I enjoy this work well enough, but I'm ready to retire. I've been thinking of selling the inn to Ysolda.
So what happens if we arrange an early retirement for Hulda, so to speak? Can we speed up the process of fulfilling Ysolda's dream? If Hulda dies, then Ysolda will actually take over as the innkeeper at the Bannered Mare. So if you want to get Ysolda to the next level in her career, you could do this by arranging an accident where Hulda accidentally comes into contact with a sharp object multiple times. I will warn you though, if you haven't already received the Whispering Door quest from Hulda, then you may completely softlock yourself because Ysolda will not give the rumor about Balgruuf's weird children. I learned this the hard way and accidentally prevented myself from getting the ebony blade for one of my characters. And speaking of unfortunate accidents, what happens if Camilla Valerius dies before you return the Golden Claw to her brother Lucan? Typically when you give him the claw, he will mention his sister's gratitude.
I'm gonna put this back where it belongs. I'll never forget this. You've done a great thing for me and my sister.
But if Camilla met an unfortunate end to a dangerous thug on the mean streets of Skyrim, then Lucan will say this instead when you bring him the claw.
Thanks. I only wish Camilla was here to see it. Here, take this. You've done a good thing for the Riverwood trader.
One of Brynjolf's first missions for us in the Thieves Guild is to collect outstanding debts from a bunch of bum-ass merchants in Riften. But what happens if you spend all the coin instead of giving it back to him? In this case, when you return to Brynjolf, he'll say this.
So I've heard. Thanks to you, this should be the last time they forget to pay. One small detail though. I need all the gold they gave you. No one skims around here. Come back when you've got every last coin.
Damn, bro, I can't skim some off the top for myself. But returning with light pockets isn't the only way to get on Brynjolf's bad side during this mission. If you happen to kill someone while collecting the debts, when you return to Homeboy, he'll be absolutely seething.
Are you daft? I told you not to kill any of them. How much clearer do you need me to be? How about the gold? Did you remember to bring it? Or was that too difficult an instruction as well? I suppose it's not a total loss then. Let me give you a piece of advice. If you want to make some serious coin in this business, you need to listen to rules.
And here's what he says if you also don't have the money.
You have wax in your ears? I said no one dies. We're not assassins. Well, guess what? Now you've inherited their debt. Don't come back to me until you have every last coin.
During the Dawnguard DLC, we'll need to track down 3 Elder Scrolls as part of our quest to stop Harkon. One of the scrolls is held by Serana's mother, Valerica, who is currently trapped in the Soul Cairn. When we discover her, she'll ask us to kill 3 Keepers to help deactivate the barrier that's holding her. But if you happen to kill all the Keepers before reaching Valerica, you'll get this unique dialogue.
Yes. I've kept it safely secured here ever since I was imprisoned. Fortunately, you seem to have already killed the Keepers maintaining the barrier around these ruins.
Even though we managed to free Valerica, she will refuse to leave the Soul Cairn while Harkon is still alive. However, if you return to the Soul Cairn and speak to Valerica after killing Harkon, you can convince her to come back to Skyrim.
You appear to have something on your mind. What is it? What? Are you certain? Then I see nothing preventing my return to Tamriel. Allow me to gather some of my things, and I'll head back to Castle Volkihar. And from the bottom of my heart, I thank you.
In this case, she will exit the Soul Cairn and relocate to her study within Castle Volkihar.
Well, I think it's time I got back to my work as an alchemist. The Soul Cairn will offer a unique opportunity to continue my studies, and I intend to complete my research. In the meantime, if there are any potions you might need, feel free to help yourself. I'm sorry. I don't feel comfortable giving them to you. I understand what you did for my family, but the prophecy never sat well with me, and I don't want to be a part of it. I'm sorry. It's good to be home again. I've planted some new herbs in the courtyard garden. I hope they'll grow. It might take decades to restore the castle to its former glory. But I appear to have plenty of time. Help yourself to anything you need in my laboratory.
If you sided with the vampires and had Garen repair the path to the courtyard, then Valerica will also replant her garden, which is a pretty cool detail. There is a secret boss fight you can find in the Soul Cairn. To battle with this boss, you'll need to collect 3 Reaper soul fragments scattered throughout the Soul Cairn, and then place them in the basin inside the cathedral. This will spawn a giant skeleton boss called the Reaper, who spits poison acid at you and wields an iron battle axe. The fight is honestly pretty underwhelming, as there is no unique loot, just a few black soul gems, Daedra hearts, and a useless weapon. But there is a cooler secret boss hidden in the depths of Blackreach. If you hit this giant sun lantern with the unrelenting force shout, you will summon a dragon named Volkihar. Early in the Dark Brotherhood questline, you'll be directed to meet with a client in Markarth named Weary, who asks you to eliminate her ex-boyfriend Elaine Dufont, as well as an optional objective to kill Nilsine Shattershield. But what happens if you kill Elaine Dufont before meeting Muri? In this case, you'll get this unique dialogue and quest ending.
What I need is for Elaine Dufont to die. I want him hunted down and murdered like the dog he is. What? Elaine is dead. I'm grateful. It's just this isn't at all how I imagined things would play out. There was Elaine, but I was considering more, and, well, dead is dead, right? My thanks to you, assassin. Here's the gold I was going to pay for the job. You earned it, after all.
In this case, the quest will end right here, and you will not get the optional objective to kill Nilsine, which also means you won't receive Muri's ring as a reward. This honestly isn't that big of a deal though, since it only has a measly 15% Fortify Alchemy effect. You can easily enchant a much better ring on your own if you want to. One tragic detail about Muri's quest is what happens if you do decide to eliminate Nilsine Shattershield. If we return to the Shattershield household after the killing, we'll discover that Nilsine's mother Tova deleted herself, leaving a note beside her lifeless body. I simply cannot find a reason to continue living. My 2 little girls are gone. The lights of my life have been extinguished. My only hope now is to be reunited with them in the halls of Sovngarde. In the aftermath, Torbjorn Shattershield is the last standing member of the family, and he becomes a totally washed out alcoholic, drinking to cope with the pain of losing his wife and both his daughters in a short time frame.
Both my daughters. Now my wife? How much is one man supposed to take? Please forgive my mood. I'm still coming to terms with the death of my wife and daughters.
Shifting gears to something less depressing, the Riften bunkhouse owner Helga is an absolute freak, dude. Her exploits in the Dibellan arts are widely known among the community, as we can learn from 3 of her ex-lovers during the Thieves Guild quest taking care of business.
I don't want a bad reputation in Riften, but Helga's out of control. She wanted to try it in the stables, so I said yes.
But if we explore Helga's bedroom, we'll discover more evidence of that hoe life. Chains on the bed frame, leather strips, and honey on a bedside table, copies of the lusty Argonian maid, and a whole bunch of vigor potions and horker tusks. What the fuck, dude? We can also overhear some hilarious conversations between Helga and other NPCs, like the shopkeeper Grelka.
Oh, Helga, there you are. Your special order from Hammerfell came in off the last Khajiit caravan.
Oh, good. I wanted to try that out as soon as possible.
Try it out. What would you need a leather harness for, anyway?
It's a religious thing.
Despite Helga protesting that she'll be run out of Riften if everyone finds out she's a Dibellan degenerate, it seems to be more or less an open secret. My absolute favorite conversation is when Maven Blackbriar confronts Helga for seducing her son.
Helga, I like you. So I'm only going to say this one time. If you ever try and practice the Dibellan arts with Hemming again, I'll make sure that pretty little face loses its beauty.
He wasn't protesting, Maven.
Of course he wasn't, you stupid whore. He's a man. Now I'm not going to warn you again. Is that clear?
Very well.
Helga's a freak for real. On the road near Iverstead, you can run across a seemingly injured merchant named Telrav, who will request our assistance if we approach him.
Are they gone? Bandits attacked and ransacked my cart. Can you help me? My camp is nearby in the ruins of Nilheim. Get me there safely, and you'll be rewarded.
Though apparently injured, he quickly springs into action to lead us to his camp. And as it turns out, this is a bandit camp, and we'll walk right into an ambush. Funnily enough, Telrav's deception is hinted at in his name. If you reverse the letters, it spells varlet, which means a dishonest man. And speaking of dishonest men, we can meet a dark elf named Romlin Dreth in the Blackbriar Meadery in Riften. He is skimming mead from the company and selling it on the sly for a steeply discounted rate. But most interestingly, this character shares a name with the first NPC we meet in Oblivion, the prisoner Valen Dreth. I guess criminal scum is a bit of a family trait with the Dreth boys. But that's not all. We can also meet another Dreth in a random encounter after completing the Ethereum Forge quest Lost to the Ages. Terran Dreth is a Dunmer mage who stole Katria's research, passing it off as his own after her death. After spotting us on the road, Terran will attack the Dragonborn, claiming that we know too much. And of course, just like anyone else who opposes the main character of Skyrim, it's the last mistake he ever makes. Malborn is Delphine's wood elf contact inside the Thalmor embassy who help us infiltrate the place in search of dirt about the dragons. Near the end of the quest, Malborn is caught by Thalmor soldiers who escort him down to the dungeons. If you happen to save Malborn from a swift death, he will say this:
"Now the Thalmor will be hunting me for the rest of my life. I hope it was worth it."
And interestingly, we can actually follow up with him in Windhelm, where we can get a side quest to help him out. In the aftermath of the Thalmor Embassy fiasco, the Aldmeri Dominion sent an assassin to track down Malborn. The assassin can be found hiding in the ranks of the Khajiit caravans outside town. I tried to lure the assassin directly to Malborn to see if he would eliminate the Wood Elf, but he just continued attacking me instead. In any case, after the assassin is killed, Malborn will thank us for saving him before running along the road, exiting the map, and leaving Skyrim forever. While infiltrating the Thalmor Embassy, we can overhear a Thalmor snitch named Gisser giving a report to one of his contacts within the Dominion. Typically, we'll end up killing him right here, as all NPCs in this location will be hostile. But if we happen to stay hidden, Gisser will eventually leave the embassy, and we can actually spot him later in the main quest. While tracking down Esbern in the Ratways, we can spot Gisser hanging out in the Ragged Flagon. After asking around about Esbern, he may attack us on the spot.
Sir, that's who was asking about Esbern. Kill her!
Alternatively, he will get up, leave the flagon, and report back to some Thalmor agents waiting just outside before heading back into the flagon with his homies. In any case, if you run across him afterwards, he will attack you along with all the Thalmor thugs. One of the hardest persuasion checks in the game can be found just outside the College of Winterhold. When approaching the college for the first time, you'll be stopped by a Dunmer mage named Feralda, who will ask you to pass a simple test to demonstrate your magical knowledge. But you can bypass the magic test with dialogue if you have a very high speech stat.
It would seem that the college has what you seek. The question now is, what can you offer the college? Not just anyone is allowed inside. Those wishing to enter must show some degree of skill with magic. A small test, if you will. You know, I think you're right. I think you'll be a superb addition to the college. Welcome, apprentice.
While getting oriented at the College of Winterhold, Tolfdir will ask you to help demonstrate ward spells. But did you know there's a way to pass this test without casting a spell? If you have the Spellbreaker Shield, which you receive by completing Periite's Daedric quest, you can pass Tolfdir's ward test by simply blocking with this shield. Spellbreaker has a unique effect that casts a ward spell while blocking, which is sufficient to pass Tolfdir's demo.
Over there, please. Just opposite me. Wouldn't want anyone else in the way. Hold still. Excellent work. Well, I think this is an excellent start. I'd like you all to continue practicing with wards, please.
While exploring Bleak Falls Barrow, you'll run across a thief trapped in a spider web. When you approach, a giant wounded frostbite spider will drop down, which you'll need to take down before reaching the thief. However, if you manage to sneak past the spider, perhaps with the use of an invisibility potion, then you'll get this unique dialogue.
What? Who are you? Oh, never mind. Cut me down before that thing gets us.
One of the first main quests in Skyrim involves retrieving an ancient Nordic tablet from Bleak Falls Barrow for Whiterun's court wizard Farengar. However, if you happen to retrieve the Dragonstone before Farengar asks you to, you'll get this unique dialogue.
Ah, the Dragonstone of Bleak Falls Barrow. You already found it. You are cut from a different cloth than the usual brutes the Jarl foists on me.
Farengar may also have some unique dialogue based on your magical skills like destruction or enchanting.
What? Project? You think you could help me? I really don't think so. What? I never even cast it. Ah, I see. You have some knowledge of the higher art. Please forgive my earlier rudeness. I am so often interrupted by visitors wandering in, I can occasionally become quite savage.
When visiting Castle Volkihar for the first time with Serana, Lord Harkin will offer the Dragonborn the gift of his vampiric powers. It is not possible to be both a werewolf and a vampire lord at the same time in Skyrim. So what happens if you come back to Harkin later after transforming into a werewolf during the companion's questline? Here's what he says.
You have forsaken my gift. The ancient blood no longer flows through your veins. Don't deny it. Count yourself fortunate that I'm a forgiving man. Now be still while I give you the ancient blood once more. Good. Do not offend me by losing it again.
It would seem that the vampires don't like it when we get cured, with every NPC directing us to speak to Harkin to regain our gift.
Quite bold to return here as a mortal. Some will take offense. You really ought to become one of us again. Bad for your health, otherwise.
Mortals aren't allowed to freely roam the castle. Not even you. Find Lord Harkin at once. and ask him to please correct the situation.
You seem to have lost the gift that Lord Harkon gave you. I suggest you tell him at once. Hopefully he'll be gracious enough to make you one of us again.
You would dare show up here after becoming mortal, abandoning all that Lord Harkon has granted you. You'd best find him soon. Ask him to change you back.
You've given up the powers granted to you? Get away from me. I don't want to be seen talking to you.
You're mortal! What are you doing here like that? Go to Lord Harkon at once. Beg him to turn you back. You're dead if you don't.
But what happens if we return to Castle Volkihar as a human after we've sided with the vampires and killed Lord Harkon? Here's what they will say.
Look at you, mortal, weak. I suggest you have Serana change you back, at once.
You seem to have lost the gift that has been given to you. Perhaps Serana will grant it to you again.
You're mortal. What are you doing here like that? No, you must get away. If I'm seen talking to you, they'll blame me.
You can't walk around here like some common mortal. Ask Serana to make you one of us again, before someone makes a meal out of you.
Inevitably, we'll have to get transformed into a vampire lord again by Serana if we want to speak with any Volkihar vampires or do quests for them. Upon entering Solitude for the first time, we will witness the execution of a man named Hroggar, who was convicted for helping Ulfric Stormcloak break out of prison. But what happens if we try to free the boy from the headsman's block? Upon approaching the executioner, everyone will turn hostile, giving Hroggar a chance to escape. In the aftermath, he'll run around the streets of Solitude, his hands still bound. But sadly, we cannot truly save Hroggar as his death is scripted. So even if we save his head, Homeboy will eventually just drop dead in the streets. Captain Aldous in Solitude may attack you if you're wearing Stormcloak armor. Approaching him while wearing that Stormcloak drip will lead to this unique dialogue.
What do you think you're doing? Walking around dressed like a damn Stormcloak traitor? Well, I'll let it slide this time, but you'd be smart to take that off. Someone might get the wrong idea.
If you don't back down, then Aldous will become hostile.
Is that right? Here's how the Legion deals with rebel scum like you. Last mistake.
Silja is a mine worker and potential marriage candidate who we meet in the town of Shore's Stone. Silja recently suffered a major injury in the mines and makes this offhand comment about how she was healed.
I had a bad fall in the mine when I was bringing some food to the men. I was pretty bad off for a while, but a priest of Mara was passing through on his way to Dawnstar and healed me to the best of his abilities.
Interestingly, the mage she is referring to is the Dunmer priest Arendur, who we will meet during the quest Waking Nightmare. Another reason why you should spare the homie during Vermina's Daedric quest. When you approach Riften for the first time, one of the gate guards will try to scam you with a fake visitor's tax. If you actually pay the guard, then Brynjolf will roast you in this unique dialogue.
Besides, you look like your pockets are a little light on coin. Am I right? It's all about sizing up your mark, lass. The way they walk, what they're wearing. It's a dead giveaway. Look how you sniffed out my little scheme at the North Gate. You knew it was a shakedown and you called him on it. That's what I'm talking about.
But don't worry, you can get revenge on Brynjolf by botching the Golden Glow Estate quest. When you receive the mission, Brynjolf will ask you to only burn 3 beehives. But if you burn down the whole estate instead, you'll get this unique dialogue.
You've made a mess of things, and Maven's furious. I told you not to burn more than 3 of the hives. I've smoothed things over with her for now. But you can forget your cut.
Maven will also express disapproval when you speak to her.
So you're the one that burned down Golden Glow Estate. Do you have any idea what that little stunt you pulled is going to cost me? I'm amazed you even bothered to show your face here.
During the Dark Brotherhood quest, Recipe for Disaster, Festus will task us with assassinating Anton Varain and the Gourmet, as well as taking the Writ of Passage, which grants us access to the Emperor. But if you kill the Gourmet and then go back to Festus without looting the Writ of Passage, you'll get this unique dialogue with the salty assassin.
So the prodigal murderer returns. And the Gourmet? Good. And his Writ of Passage? Oh, wait, let me guess. You don't have them, fool. Amateur. Without those papers, you'll never be able to present yourself as the Gourmet. Off with you. Back to the body to retrieve them.
If you read all 10 tablets on the steps up to High Hroggar, you'll be granted with a temporary perk called Voice of the Sky. For 24 hours, all wild animals will not attack the Dragonborn. Not the greatest perk in the world, but a cool little detail nonetheless. While exploring the Soul Cairn, we may run across an NPC named Jib, who will ask us to recover the pages of his magnum opus. Interestingly, Jib is actually the first character we meet in the Elder Scrolls III Morrowind, so it's a nice little Easter egg for Morrowind bros. Skyrim actually has quite a few Morrowind Easter eggs, especially during the Dragonborn DLC, which takes place on the island of Solstheim. This was the same location we went to during the Blood Moon DLC in Morrowind. During the quest March of the Dead, the Dragonborn needs to investigate the source of ash spawn attacks that are plaguing Raven Rock. At the end of the quest, we'll need to defeat a resurrected Imperial Legion soldier named General Folks Carius. Carius was a major character that we could meet in Morrowind's Blood Moon DLC. During the quest The Book of Love, the Dragonborn will have to help love blossom between couples in various locations across Skyrim. One part of the quest sees us helping Astrid in Ivarstead choose between two suitors. Klimek is a local Nord that is too scared to make a move. Meanwhile, Bassianus is a prickly bard that wants to elope with Astrid and move to Riften. Interestingly, Astrid and Bassianus will actually relocate to Riften if you bring them together during this quest.
Good to see you. Finally, someone useful is around.
I can't imagine how exciting it must be to journey from place to place. You're so lucky.
Though the bard will still be an asshole to us.
Is it absolutely necessary for you to bother me right now?
Bro, you keep up that tone and I'll put you down with the ebony blade. You're on thin ice, buddy. While traveling the road east of Whiterun, you may run across the missable quest called Delayed Burial. Our lovable Dark Brotherhood jester Cicero is stranded on the road in desperate need of repairs. He'll ask us to convince the nearby farmer Lorius to help him repair the wheel. But if we're feeling devious, we can go along with Lorius's scheme instead and make a false report to a guard to get Cicero arrested.
Cicero has done nothing wrong. Lorius will pay for his treachery. Oh, how he will pay. And you are no help, not at all!
If we decide to take this route, things don't end well for Lorius though. When Cicero relocates to the Dark Brotherhood Sanctuary, if we return to Lorius's farm, we'll discover the farmers butchered in their own home. So there you have it. We've explored 69 secrets and useless facts about Skyrim. If you liked this video, be sure to subscribe to Big Dan Gaming for more Skyrim and RPG videos. Big shout out to all the channel members for supporting my content. Until next time, this has been Big Dan. I should go.